Hello world, students, parents. It's another Green Apple production. I'm Mr. Guest. Let's roll. These notes will cover predators, prey, and competition. Predators, prey, and competition, and revolve around a simple notion, the fact that animals in the wild, organisms in the wild, have to compete in order to live. Now, if you want to take that same principle and apply it to humans, especially here in America, where capitalism is key, humans, people, we have to actually compete, not to live. We'll still be able to get food, but we have to compete to live well. But let's talk about the wild. When organisms compete for limited resources within an ecosystem, what is this process called? My students now know that this is competition. Competition, and this is very scientific. We're not just talking about sports. So here we go. Just like humans compete within sports, within schools, or at our jobs, animals in the wild have to compete for food and water. Often, this means hunting other animals for food. Got it? Just like humans compete within sports, within schools, no matter what it is, animals in the wild have to compete just the same, but it's not trivial for them. They're competing to live. They're competing for food and water. Competition, just a definition, the struggle among organisms to survive in a habitat with limited resources. Organisms within an ecosystem with limited resources must compete to live. So, if there's a lot or tons of food to eat, the competition is not that fierce. But whenever there's a scarcity of resources, a scarcity of food, when it's not that much, shoot, a lot of people gonna die. Or a lot of animals gonna die, excuse me. A lot of animals gonna die. Here we go. An ecosystem, an area in which living things and non-living parts of the environment interact. An ecosystem can be as large as a lake and as small as a roadside ditch. An ecosystem includes everything that's living and non-living. So you take this lake on the left. This is actually a picture of Lake Tahoe. It's huge, beautiful lake. Has fish, of course, some turtles, frogs, numerous things living underneath this water, and the birds and everything that's on the side. These rocks, these stones, that's part of the ecosystem. You got the forest in the back, so you know you probably got wild animals that come up and drink from this water. All of which is part of this ecosystem, a huge and diverse ecosystem. Just the same, you look at this ditch, this picture on the right. You can see the tadpoles that's inside this water, but the soil and the mud, that's part of the ecosystem. There's grass that's growing, this part of the ecosystem too, as well as the water. All the small bacteria and microorganisms we can't see that's living in this roadside ditch, that's also a part of the ecosystem as well. So an ecosystem can be as large as a lake or an ocean, or as small as a ditch or a loaf of bread. Got it? Some animals, like the gazelle, only eat plants. Those are herbivores. However, some animals, like the lion, only eat meat, carnivores. Sometimes you got species like humans that's in between. We eat both meat and plants, so we're called omnivores. A predator is an organism that survives by hunting and eating other animals. Prey is an organism that is often hunted and eaten by other animals, often known as herbivores. And a predator, most of the time, is known as the carnivore. And that's it. Very, very quick. I know he's like, goodness gracious, these are some quick notes. Yeah, just predators, prey, and competition. There we go. I'll see you all the next time. Have a good evening.